Last week we took a look at Ys. This week it's Ys 3, Wanderers from Ys by Nihon Falcom, which started life on the NEC PC 8801 on July 21st, 1989. The opening scene informs the player that it has been 3 years since the event of Ys 1 and 2. Adol and his friend Doggy are on a journey, passing through a town. They find the gypsy caravan and Doggy has his fortune told. The fortune teller's crystal ball explodes and both Adol and Doggy decide to go to Doggy's hometown of Redmont. On the way to Redmont, the pair chance upon a wildcat that attacks them, saving Doggy's childhood friend Elna Stuttgart in the process. Upon arriving, they learn that the townspeople are being threatened by men from nearby Vestine Castle. Always ready for an adventure, Adol decides to assume the task of helping them out. Instead of the top-down view used in previous Ys games, Ys 3 uses a side-scrolling platformer presentation. Auto-attack is kinda here, in that the weapon is stuck on rapid fire mode, but it does require you to hold down the attack button. I'm not sure I like this. The stats, equipment, shopping, experience system and magic all function the same as Ys 1 and 2. Those spells are represented by rings instead of wand icons, and MP is renamed Ring Power. The music in this game was entirely composed by Miyako Ishikawa, and what a great soundtrack it is. On October 20th, 1989, we saw the MSX2 get a release of Ys 3. This version is vastly more colourful than the NEC release, but doesn't move as smoothly, but I'm surprised to see that the MSX2 version has retained the parallax scrolling. The general speed of the port is slower than the NEC original, and I do wonder which sounds better. I think that may come down to personal preference. Still, if you have a MSX2 with a working floppy drive, give this one a try. March 24th, 1990 saw the Sharp X68000 release delight the Japanese public with its vastly superior visuals and audio. Now, for the first time, Ys 3 could be played with smooth scrolling and responsive controls. Battles are also more fun in this version due to the speed increase. Life also recovers faster too in the open world maps. No longer are you left standing around waiting for your life to refill. This really did bring the game alive, and things can only get better with the following ports. Or do they? Here we go with the PC Engine CD version, which was released on March 22nd, 1991. As to be expected, this version comes with a load of cutscenes and a long intro, some of which are voiced. The music is a mix of excellent CD tracks and reasonable chip renditions of most tunes. It's not as good as the Sharp, but the CD music sure makes up for the not so punchy chip music. Just like the Sharp version, the ability to walk through doors is now much easier. No more searching for that pixel perfect slot. Sadly, as I'm sure you've noticed, the parallax scrolling is laughably bad in this port. It was developed by Alpha System, who did some reasonable stuff on the PC Engine. I guess it was their interns working on this one when it came to the scrolling. They must have come from the same work experience company as the American voice actors. Man, this is bad.
I'm glad to see you're safe. Someone's coming! Quick, hide!
I could have sworn I heard someone. Chester, what's going on? It's nothing.
Adol, my boy, I'm glad you have come. Look what has happened, young'un. Someone broke in while I was gone. They sure made a mess of my home.
Next up is the first of two Nintendo ports. The Super Famicom version was released on June 21st, 1991, and was developed by Advanced Communications Company, a company not known for stellar games. They were responsible for the likes of Super Godzilla on the Super Famicom, and Funky Horror Band on the Mega CD, and the poor Mecha Robot Golf, also on the Super Famicom. So how was Ys 3? Well, it does contain an intro, but it is missing the standard scrolling story intro. It does feature reasonable tunes, looks acceptable and plays okay. The scrolling sure tops the PC Engine version, but then again, so did the original. I think the best way to describe the Super Famicom version is that it's average. It's not a bad game, but then again, there's nothing that really stands out. Believe it or not, 3 months after the Super Famicom release, the original Famicom also saw the version of Ys 3 being released for it on September 27th, 1991. This port is not bad at all. Sure, all the parallax scrolling is gone, but the graphics are pretty reasonable, plus the rendition of the music is also perfectly acceptable. Some may even say it's pretty good. Gameplay is a lot more toned down in this version of the game, mind you. Less enemies on screen, loads of missing enemies, and ones that are here seem to be easier to defeat. Still, despite these compromises, it is nice to see Ys 3 on the Famicom. Possibly the best version of Ys 3 came to the Mega Drive from Telenet Japan on November 1st, 1991. Now this is a very pleasant surprise, as Telenet Japan is well known for below acceptable to acceptable games. Yet here we are with possibly the best looking, best sounding and best playing version of Ys 3 out of all the 8 and 16-bit systems. I really am surprised at just how good this port is, especially considering the developer. It has super smooth scrolling, banging music which in my opinion puts the X68000 and PC Engine chiptunes and the Super Famicom to shame, and even an introduction following the same story as the Super Famicom release. And finally on March 24th, 2005, we got the PlayStation 2 version and it sucks. What have they done to this one? The intro is dull and lacks the excitement of the PC Engine version. The music is just there with generic remakes of the original tracks. The village is now a map screen split into different areas that don't even connect to each other. Voice acting is far worse than what we had on the original Japanese PC Engine release. The background graphics are in that cheap looking modern look. They've changed the world map location placements for no reason at all, and to top it off, we have a lame ass battle tutorial. A battle tutorial in an Ys game. What the f***? As you can tell, I'm not a fan of this version. Apparently this was developed by Access, a company known for churning out shovelware or mediocre IP license games, and it shows.
Yes.
And let's take a look at all those versions of Ys 3 Wanderers from Ys running side by side.